Hey everybody, so welcome on joining us to our podcast. I hope you enjoy the setup that we have. Today we have a good friend and our guest as well, our first guest for a long time on new podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Sue.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, by the way, you have headphones there, please use them.
Oh, let's go.
So today we've got Sue on board because we wanted her to share her journey with basically everyone listening. And of course, if you're on Instagram Live, I apologize in advance because we can't actually read from this far, but we wanted to make sure we can still share this journey. So in the future, if you ever want to ask questions, I'll always post them on my Instagram stories. And if you listen to this podcast, you can always follow me on Instagram, which is sean.momentum, and you can always ask us any questions you want to basically prepare leading up into this. So anyway, enough about what we can do here. We're here to share about you, Sue. So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
So I'm Sue, I am 25 years old. I actually work a couple of doors down from you, don't I, Sean? And so I feel like that's how we've come together.
Really?
What else do I do? So my work is obviously the senior receptionist over at Carousel Medical Centre. Currently in my last semester of a double major, so that's been fun.
Exercise, sports science, right?
So human bio and sports science. And then, I've done my fair share of working in supplement stores as well, which is actually really good because you get to utilize a lot of your information that you get from your degree and be able to apply it, to the supplements and to the customers walking in too. So yeah, it's actually a pretty rewarding job, to be honest.
That's really good to know because obviously you've been surrounded by health, by fitness, literally health in the medical center to fitness in the gym. But it's so good because now we can actually start to go, okay, well, how do you apply it to yourself and theory and practical? And this is where things get a little bit iffy, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, don't worry, that's why we're here. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'm going to try my best to really zoom in onto Instagram Live to see how I can, answer any questions. But if not, we've got some here and we're just going to fire away.
Let's go.
So first of all, Sue, what were your goals first coming into training and how did you get into training?
Obviously the main goal was to look aesthetically pleasing, to what I believe was aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just improving general fitness as well, and I know that with that comes with looking good, feel good, and that's, to me, it was all about just also gaining a bit of confidence in myself as well. I wanted to be able to look in the mirror. Weight didn't matter to me too much, but it was just all about me looking in the mirror and being happy with what I saw.
Yeah, I know, I totally agree with that. I think a lot of people forget about the feel good, and I'm not sure if you agree with this. Feel free to just chime in, by the way, because I know you're a little bit nervous on this. Don't be. But I think when a lot of people say they want to feel good, the first thing they need to do is first invest time in themselves. And it doesn't have to be at the gym. It can be something else. But you decided that it was going to be the gym, didn't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, let's go down the route first of all. How did you first step into a gym?
Oh God. I think I stepped in feeling very overwhelmed, to be honest with you. It was just machines everywhere that did not look like they made sense at all.
Some of them still don't.
Yeah, some of them still don't. I see some of the machines nowadays and I'm I have no idea what that trains. So just overwhelmed probably would be the best way to describe it. And that's probably why I thought the best thing for me to do is to actually seek some professional help. So that's why I came to you.
Oh, well, that's great to hear. Thank you so much. Well, how long have you been training for right now? Today is 2022 for those of you who may be listening in the future. How long have you been training right now?
To say that I was, completely dedicated, I'd be maybe a year and a half, I'd say. Yeah.
Cool. So I've been doing this since I was 17. And I just joined a commercial gym, probably 3 weeks ago. First time in 5 years since opening up Momentum. And I completely relate to the whole anxiety now.
Yes.
I get the tripod and I'm don't look at me, everyone. Do you still feel that? Because you were actually telling me about this last week.
Absolutely. there's the anxiety of one, even in the gym that I was previously going to, even though I felt so comfortable training, every time I whipped out my phone to, you know, record myself or just to, don't you find that like recording yourself during working out, you can actually correct your form so much? So I thought, hell yeah, let's go, I'm going to record my sets. And then the minute that I pull my phone out to record myself, I'm like, oh, do I really want to do this? And then now, because obviously I've moved out of home, I didn't realize how big this anxiety was, but I literally haven't been to the gym in like the last 2 weeks because I've been so anxious to step into a new gym, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I've always worked in a gym. Surprise, surprise. But every time I've gone to a gym, I've either worked at that gym or I was surrounded by so many friends at that gym. So I was like, yeah, I'll just whip up my camera and my tripod because my friends and I will like congregate one part of the gym. It was massive enough, big enough. We weren't hogs or anything. But now that I'm by myself, I'm literally by myself at this other gym, and I'm just like, I'm the only person with a tripod here.
We got to get the angles right. So
yeah, no, and I'll blame everything else. The angles are horrible at this gym. They are. I'm horrible at that gym. But now I've told myself that, and maybe someone else out there needs to hear it, because I do write my own programs and I'm coaching myself. But I had to put myself in a different perspective, and I said to myself, I am not my coach. I am my own athlete or my own client. And I need to film this video for Sean, me, talking in third person, so that my coach can look after me. And I was like, oh, well, that makes it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that I realized too is that when you're at the gym, and even though you do have that anxiety about, oh my God, like what if people are judging me because I'm filming my set, no one actually gives a crap. You look around and people are just busy doing their own thing. Like I've been in the gym where I've literally dropped away, looked up thinking, oh my God, like someone's staring at me, and then no one, they're just doing their own thing.
Oh no, that's 100%. Actually, I was talking to Grace, another one of our team members before, and she's like, oh, I tried to set up a camera or something, and someone goes up to me and goes, oh, do you want me to record that for you?
That's sweet.
And she's just like, no one actually gives a crap.
Yeah.
Just do your thing. So that's giving you permission out there, everybody. You can feel a bit anxious and scared because, you know, we still do, but then we realize...
As good looking as we are, we still feel that.
I didn't say that. But it is something that you are allowed to have. You have that permission, but you also have permission to take up space and, you know, invest in yourself. So don't be afraid, everyone.
And it's great to look back on. Like, I can compare videos now to a year ago, and the difference is insane.
Yeah, because that's another way that you can track progress, not just on weights and scales and how much you lift, but actually the technique of how you do things make big, big, big differences too.
Oh yeah.
I said big 3 times because I actually forgot what I was going to say next. So tell us about the journey, okay? Because you've made really big leaps and bounds working together with us, but I actually want you to share your journey about where you started before us. Like, was that at like the lowest part, or was that like restarting again? Tell us about the journey before you started with Momentum.
So before Momentum, I was probably the heaviest that I have ever been. So I think that I kind of went from one extreme to the next, and obviously there's other like variables that contributed to that as well, but I went from like being 56 kilos, absolutely tiny, frail, no curves, like I was built like a surfboard, to then the heaviest that I ever was, which I think from our check-ins it was like 79 kilos or so.
Yeah.
So I was the heaviest, but also I wasn't happy either because of the way that I looked, clothes not fitting anymore. It gets to you. It really, really does.
I have to butt in on this one. I actually completely relate with this. Before I met Nancy, I bought a brand new suit, and it was for a friend's wedding, and I like owned this suit. I was wearing this suit. And then I was really excited to wear this suit for another wedding going with Nancy. And I was like, I didn't want to open the door. And she's like, hurry up, we're going to be late. And I'm like, no. And she goes, why? And I was like, oh, you look so good. And I'm just like looking at him, I was like, no, you don't get it. This suit's wearing me. I felt like a kid borrowing his dad's suit going to the year 12 ball.
Oh my God.
I was like, I used to own this suit. This suit is now owning me. And that was like 3-4 years ago. And I'm just like, crap, I really need to get something going again. So I completely relate to that part.
Yeah.
That was my wake up call, by the way.
Oh yeah, mine too, don't worry, mine too.
And then you came to us, obviously, and
yeah. So obviously, at the time, you guys were pretty much right next to us all that time ago. And then I felt like, obviously, I think convenience was a huge thing as well, because I love the fact that I could either come and see you in the morning and head straight to work, or head straight to work and then come and see you straight after. So convenience was a big thing for me. And that's pretty much where the journey began. Basically, we sat down, we talked about what my goals were, and then it just went from there.
What were some of the things that kind of just made it different? Because have you ever had a coach before?
Never.
Okay, good. Fair enough. You had nothing to compare to.
And it's so different to like even little, personal training that you get at the gym as well.
Yeah. We like to think we're different.
You are, don't worry.
But what were some of the things where you just like, okay, I actually know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm hoping you do. But what was the moments where you're just like, okay, that recertified the fact that I needed someone to keep me accountable?
What was the moment?
I'm talking about like the breakdown at the back.
Oh! Yeah, look, we don't talk about that.
We can if you want. We can keep it back.
No, of course. It was a very, very big learning curve. But I think, how many weeks were we into the program?
I think it was probably 3 or 4.
I feel like 4 sounds familiar.
It was very primitive in the program. You were still learning.
Oh, I know. I was still learning. Like, I was still squatting with my free runs. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you never squat in the running shoes, guys. They absorb impact. You want to increase impact on the floor.
Yeah, so I was pretty much squatting and lifting in my free run. So that was a bit of a learning curve too. But about 4 weeks into the training, I should say, I had a massive breakdown to Sean in the back room because I think we did a body scan that day too, and I was just not happy with the results. I was so upset, thinking that I'd at least see some difference. I'm pretty sure I actually ended up going up in weight at some point.
Yep.
I just felt really, really disheartened. I was ready to kind of throw my hands up and be like, stop this, like, see you later, I'm out. But no, we stuck through it.
Yep.
We stuck through it.
Well, we knew that. What did I say to you on that day?
You pretty much told me to harden the F up, but in the nicest way possible, like the Sean way. That's what you did.
Just to put it out there, everyone, I never swear in front of my clients. I just said, hey, Sue, it's okay. We just need to work on, the small actionable goals. Don't worry, trust the process. All the stuff you read in books. Wasn't
that what I actually said to you? I swear to God, if you say trust the process one more time, I'm walking.
I'm full of the cheese, everybody. But it was one of those things, like you were literally strength training for the first time in almost 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I
don't think I've actually ever had a proper sesh at the gym before I met you.
What? No way.
Yeah, I swear. Yeah.
Didn't know that actually.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Why do you think I was squatting in free runs then?
I thought you were like, I'm a machine girl, I just do machines and cardio, that's it. But I didn't know that you were absolutely brand spanking brand new. There we are. So now what we do is we focus a lot on strength training. And I want everyone out there to really listen to this because I brought Sue on purpose because first of all, we don't do much cardio. Cardio is cardio.
Vocab, unfortunately.
Yeah, and what we do focus is obviously the process and actually focusing on strength training because we like to tell a lot of people, look, you only need to get cardio at the top. But first of all, you need cardio for cardio-based reasons. So if you're a runner, you need to run. But the second reason is we only add cardio towards the end when you're starting to see a stagnant in progress in say weight loss or fat loss. So what was your kind of feel towards the program when I gave it to you? Like, what's this? Like, give me everything that you think when you first got your program.
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this and what am I doing? That was the first thought process. But also I was glad that I had in-person sessions with you as well because I knew that those sessions were really going to help in actually understanding the program.
Yeah.
I think I'm glad that we did that. Otherwise, if we didn't, I would look at this program and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's definitely true. We worked face-to-face for the first, say, 12 to 15 weeks. And that definitely set up your foundations, which is why now you're operating online.
Yes.
And do you find it a little easier as well now?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do miss coming here. But online, I feel like it just works a little bit better with my lifestyle now, because obviously when I first started with you, I had also just been in that job as well. So hours weren't anywhere near as much now as they were before. So yeah, being like, your online client actually kind of suits me at the moment. So I do miss you though. I do miss you.
Oh, we're always here. So now we've obviously progressed you to a different program. And this program is based around, I call it the female bodybuilding program, because I think it works on all the fundamentals from push-ups to hamstrings, even progressing into a chin-up now.
No, so, I can't pretend like I don't see the push-ups in the program either. So.
And it says, if you cannot do them on your toes, please do on incline. So there's always a way around it.
Yeah.
Now, how do you find that program? Because you were saying to me this is one of your favorite ones. It was one where we addressed quite a bit of body weight movements, if anything, like mastering the basics of body weights. Tell me what you think about it and what kind of things you liked about this method of us doing strength training, because I think a lot of females out there should benefit from strength training, which we're going to talk about psychologically. But tell me what you think about the program that we're running at the moment.
I love it because of the fact that it's actually so different. When I look back at our old programs, it's so different in the sense that I remember with the old programs, a lot of it, one of my goals was obviously to decrease like body fat, and with the old program, I remember a lot of the workouts were a mix of upper and lower. And I mean, obviously it worked, it did a great job because we finally saw some results after the breakdown. But I feel like with the bodybuilding program now, I love that I have the flexibility to choose whether or not, because we have the lower main A and then lower main B, and then it has all the accessories that come with them, and I love to be able to just pick the one that I want to do. The exercise, like especially your compound movements, they're so simple, so basic, so easy to follow, and then the accessories on top of that, even if on days where I've managed to squeeze in a really quick gym sesh, but I haven't been able to do the accessories, I still feel accomplished from doing the mains because I knew that they were all the big compound movements. I still, sweating my head off, but yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I've sent you multiple photos of me at the gym with sweat running down my face telling you how much I hate you. But
no, that's definitely right. And now we've started off a new trend with our Facebook group with all our members. We're doing a flex off every single time.
Yep, that's correct.
And then good old Cam's going, that's a pretty good bathroom at that gym. So we always have little fun and games with it because everyone's going like, man, why are my legs shaking so much? Someone's like, new program, who's this? New program,
that's it. Or like, don't you hate it when the wind just happens to blow you into like a restaurant or something when you're meant to be at the gym? It happens to me all the time.
Not to me. So now we're going to talk about strength training in females. I think this is such an important factor. Like I wanted to specialize in teaching people how to body recomp, but the secondary part to it was also focusing on people feeling confident, which can work hand in hand, but it's like secretly everyone, the confidence comes from the strength training. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it does. No one ever regretted getting strong, right? But as a young female who is at that generation where some people still think that lifting weights is gonna make them bulky, it's not gonna get them their benefit, and they're too scared to do it, what's your advice for young females out there when it comes to strength training, and also, how has it helped you? Let's go with how has it helped you first.
Well, first thing I want to say is just do it. How has it helped me? Well, I'm assuming that obviously, when you talk about like being in a calorie deficit compared to a calorie surplus as well, where the surplus is ideal if you're wanting to put on muscle and all that stuff. I found that with strength training, not only was I losing the body fat, which was what I wanted and which was one of my goals, but it also made me go increase in muscle mass from the body scans that we did, and to me that was just exactly what I needed.
When you say increased muscle mass, should girls be scared of this?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I'll put it this way, when you ask a girl okay, so this was the answer that I myself gave to someone when they asked me, what's your ideal body type? What are you going to say? Small waist, like big bum, the curves and everything. People don't realize that you actually get that from strength training, and just don't be scared of it. Like, that's what I want to say. I mean, I came to Sean looking like a surfboard, and now it's like it's the complete opposite.
So you're telling me don't grab 5 kilo dumbbells and just do hundreds and hundreds, or sorry, 2 5-pound dumbbells, so 2 kilo dumbbells, and just do thousands of reps and we're aim for toning?
Oh God, no. Anytime someone says to me, I actually had someone from work tell me that they wanted to work out with me, and I said that's awesome, like let's do it. I'm all for a new gym partner. And I asked them, what's your fitness goals? And I was like, just sitting there going, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. She's like, yeah, I just want to tone, like maybe just tone up my arms, maybe lose a little bit of belly fat, and that's it. And I just went, oh my God, like this is probably what I sounded like too.
You can't blame the people for them not knowing, okay?
No, absolutely.
I think that's my responsibility to educate people out there, and that's what we're doing in a very safe space, everybody. So if you're listening to this and you're a young female and you're like, I want to be able to shape my body, ditch the light weights. Actually, okay, let me say this. Learn on the light weights, start getting stronger.
Form is everything. Technique and form is what you told me is everything.
You learn with the light weights and then you progress to get stronger, okay? And that's not just some sort of secret. Like, we're not trying to lie to you. We benefit from nothing to disservice you by saying the things that we think are wrong or right. And if I am wrong, you know what, in 5 years' time when I have to say, oh look, I'm wrong, I'll prove it, okay? I'll say it. But right now, I'm truly being honest. Lift heavier than you think with good technique.
With good technique, absolutely.
But what's the psychological benefits that you've gotten from strength training?
Oh gosh, confidence, like just actually, as soon as you get comfortable with going to the gym and walking in, you don't feel that anxiety anymore. So it's like you feel confident walking to the gym because you know exactly what you're doing. But then also you feel confident when you're out and about. Like I remember the really like uplifting moment for me was before I started seeing you for sessions, there was this dress that I bought.
Ooh.
I think, do you remember I don't know if you
remember. I remember the story,
it.
I don't remember the dress.
Story? So there was a dress that I bought. It was a short dress, it was tight, and it had a cutout on the side. I remember buying it and bursting into tears because I was like, there is no way that I am going to look good in that dress.
That's like me in my suit.
And I would say, gosh, maybe 6 months into our training session, I had a night out booked with the girls. I had nothing to wear. The only thing that was sitting and staring at me in my closet was that dress with tags on it.
Dress.
I looked at it and I went, stuff it. I'm going to put it on and I'm going to see how it looks. I put it on and I felt so good about myself because of the fact that initially when I put it on, it was tight. It was like a struggle to get on, fitted me in all the worst ways possible.
Yeah.
The second time that I put it on, it fitted like a glove. Hugged in all the right places. Yeah. I remember walking out that house being like, bye mum, I'm out. So yeah, that was a huge turning point for me.
Well, I actually completely forgot about that story because I just remember you telling me something about the dress. I'm not sure if I don't know. I'm
pretty sure I posted on my Instagram too. I was like, I said, a couple of months ago, I was so scared about wearing this dress, and now I'm rocking it. Yeah,
well, I forgot. I've got short-term memory. I write everything down, so I apologize, but congratulations if I haven't said congratulations yet.
I'm pretty sure you did. I got a fist bump, so I'm happy with that.
So, there you've had it right there. Like, Sue says herself that she would highly recommend you guys to start doing some strength training. And obviously, what were some mistakes that you made along the way? Because everyone makes mistakes. Like I used to do the whole clean eating, 6 meals a day, 6 days of training per week, all that kind of stuff. No alcohol, no takeout.
I did not do that whatsoever.
And that's probably an attribute. Like it still pays attribute to the fact that you can still stick to 75 to 90% of the program, still live a lifestyle. Because don't get me wrong, I just don't like drinking alcohol.
That's fair.
Yeah, everyone has their different lifestyles. I'm an extremist though. I like to think I'm an extremist. But how did you, what mistakes did you make that you look back and you're like, don't ever make that again? Hopefully you didn't have detox green teas and stuff like that.
Oh God, no. Gosh, no. Mistakes, I would say, so there were periods where I was out of the gym. So for example, At one point I started training at another gym because obviously I had a couple of gym buddies, and it's always nice to have gym buddies sometimes because they motivate you, you motivate them. It's really, really nice to have that connection with someone. Obviously some things went down and I had to go back to my previous gym, but also had to get out of that contract that I was in before. But because it was such a mess around, and not only that, but I didn't feel comfortable going back to the gym while that stuff was getting sorted, I think I was out of the gym for about 6 weeks or so until I could finally end that contract, go back to my old one, and then that's when I started training again. In that 6 weeks, I reckon I lost like a lot of my progress, and that's what really got to me. I'm pretty sure when we spoke about it as well, it was such a huge factor for me that because I'd been out of the gym for so long, you don't think it's that long, like 6 weeks, a month and a bit, but when you go from training 3 or 4 times a week to nothing at all for 6 weeks, it gets to you. My weight went up, like my body scan was completely different to the one previously as well. So
did you end up picking up some bad habits as well with all this extra time?
Oh, absolutely. Like takeout so often. It was so terrible, but it just kept happening. You think to yourself, oh, it's just one time, it's just one time. But when you start saying it almost every day, it catches up.
Was it like boredom eating because you had spare time that you weren't going to do?
Boredom eating. Also just thinking, oh, I can just get this on Uber Eats, I'll get that on Uber Eats, I'll get back on track tomorrow, I'll get back on track tomorrow. It never happens. Never happens.
It sounds like what you're saying is, if you do stop doing, say, the gym, you have to pick up something else up.
Yes. I mean, not that I vowed myself that I would never let that happen again. So
it's not, sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, like I love the gym, like I love the gym, but it's like not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yes.
Like, I mean, as nicely we could have gyms not closed, not open. I'm not going to say any special words. It could be the fact that your gym apologetically also closes business-wise, so you're going to find new ways around until you find the next gym. So if looking in hindsight now, you didn't go to the gym for 6 weeks, what do you think you could have done? Because I'm sure there's someone out there who has gone like, I'm not going to the gym for the next 4 to 5 weeks. What are some actionable things that you could recommend for them?
Find ways to be active. Like even as simple as going for a walk, getting your cardio up, even though I hate that word.
Yeah,
just literally find ways.
Just walk.
Yeah, find ways to be active. Like I found that what probably didn't get me too out of habit was that because I have dogs, I was still walking my dogs. Because it was summertime. I was catching up with friends at the beach almost like every day and going for a swim, and at least that was me getting my steps in, or me doing living some kind of an active lifestyle, even though I was out of the gym. So I think that would probably be the best advice, is to if you do find yourself to be out of the gym for a while, see if there's an alternative.
Pivot, as Ross would say. Pivot. You are
I actually haven't seen
one
episode of Friends.
It's like the best TV series in the world. If you guys are watching, just thumbs up if you think this is the best TV series in the world. It's called Friends. So, what's some ideas that how would you perfect that process a little bit more? Of
in terms of
being more physically active. So, some examples. Like I would say, I had been out of gyms before, but ironically I own one too. I usually just do like push-ups. That's me. Yeah,
so I actually found that I found an old notebook of mine that had little like HIIT exercises. Yeah, it just came to me. It had all these like high intensity workouts that I had like written down like years and years and years ago. And here's the thing, like girls don't be afraid to step out of the high intensity training bubble and actually get into strength training, because while high intensity, would you find that it's great for, all exercise is great for
all exercise is good.
All exercise is good, but also strength training is just that little bit better. But yeah, so I remember finding that and I thought, hey, you know what? This is better than nothing.
I like it. Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people, they're just, oh, you know what? It's not perfect. Give it up.
Yeah.
I'm actually, no, it's not that great anymore. A lot of pressure. But yeah, no, a lot of people just give up on things. They throw the baby out with the bathwater. I actually don't like that saying, but apparently people like
What's it called?
Throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, just, you know, just chuck it all away.
I've never heard that before.
It's a horrible saying. I don't think it makes any sense to me. But what that's initially is basically like, can't do it, not going to do it. Not perfect, chuck it all out, kind of thing. And when lockdown happened 2 years ago, oops, I said the L word. I luckily had gym access, and it got really, really hot. So I had to carry all my gym equipment all the way to the cricket pitch, and it got really, really hot. I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So I just gave up. I don't know where I was going with that story. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're going to leave it there for the time being. So if you give 3 small tips to anyone else out there, especially young females, when it comes to building their body, building more confidence, give it to me. 3 steps.
Don't be afraid to still like live your normal life while being not strict, but while still following a program. Like, you of all people know that I was not restrictive at all when it came to like my I know it sounds really bad saying it, but it's true. I still went out. I enjoyed having drinks with the girls, you know, just letting loose. There are days where I still ate whatever the heck I wanted, but still in moderation. I felt like that was a huge thing.
That's a big one. I want to touch base on that one, because you can still have, say, said bad food, but it depends on how much portion of it that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like, don't you think that so many girls, some of them are so wrapped up on the idea of like being in a diet or not touching all the bad foods. And the way that I see it, it's like, if you want to have a piece of chocolate, just have a piece of chocolate, but just don't eat the whole bar.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
That's the way that I see it, because it's like, I feel like if you restrict yourself from that, that's how you also end up developing a bad relationship with food.
And then you binge.
Exactly. So, yeah, my advice one would be, you can still live your life and train at the same time and still see results.
Yeah.
So that to me is probably one of the most important ones.
Number 1, that's it. Number 2?
What were we talking about again?
The 3 tips that you give to someone who's starting off or struggling with their health journey.
Second tip, I would say, if you don't know what you're doing, seek help, because that's what I did. I had no idea what I was doing. If I hadn't had, reached out to you, I probably would still be stuck in my old ways of, going and doing cardio machines or doing high intensity, and then going through periods of not being consistent and then getting back in again, probably following stupid diets and things like that. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, I understand that there are so many platforms that I think that people can access in order to be able to gain some good information about, what would you say, what nutrition, like
training
in general. Even like to this day, like Sean will put an exercise in my program. I'm like, Sean, what that? I don't know what that is. Jump straight onto YouTube. Straight onto YouTube, and it's like, oh, that's how you do it. So,
or even saying that Facebook group.
Yeah, post in the Facebook group too. Absolutely. So I think second tip will be, don't be afraid to ask for help, because everyone has to start somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah.
I really like those pieces of advice. And along with strength training. Now, I've got some homework for you, Sue. You need to go watch Friends.
Oh.
It's the greatest. I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole series of Friends would be absolutely solved if everyone had mobile phones from season 1.
Okay.
But I feel like that's most TV shows these days.
That's true.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast.
Of course. Do we have any questions? Did we get any questions?
Well, I can't read any from here, and I can't scroll either. So very sorry, Instagram Live. But if you have any questions, just DM us right now, and I'll forward them to Sue if you need to. Now, Sue, where can people follow you if you want them to follow you?
Absolutely. So I have quite a few socials, but the most popular one would just be my Instagram. So it's just my first and last name, so SUTUN11.
Yes, and TikTok.
And
I don't have TikTok. I do, but I don't use it.
How about this? I will watch an entire series of Friends if you can hit 1,000 views on TikTok on a video.
Come on.
That's achievable.
That's hard.
That's achievable.
I know, I just don't get the algorithm. Because I got like 6,000 the first post, like, this is easy, Sue, what are you talking about? Then I got like 50, then 2, then 5, then 500, 700.
And then
like,
1, and that was for me.
Just a roller coaster of emotions. All right, so we've got Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, guys, if you don't know anything about us already, which you probably should if you listen to our podcast, but you can follow us on Instagram. That's Sean.momentum. That's SEAN.momentum. That's the superior way of spelling Sean. You can also follow us on YouTube as well. We do have a YouTube's. That's also Sean Momentum. And then if you ever want free resources, now, as I'm saying this right now, we have got a free Facebook group back. So if you want to join that free Facebook group where we give you lots of free resources and a place to discuss as well, go to the link in my bio on Instagram and click join free Facebook group and I'll approve you in. The next thing is, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to know more about what we do, just head into the description box and also follow us on Instagram, and you have all the links and everything that you need there as well. That is all for today. Thank you very much, Sue.
Thank you for having me.
Keep going, everyone. Keep building momentum because momentum is key. Peace.
See ya.